There are some moments in life that feel too small to matter. A step taken without thinking, a hand reaching out without reason, a choice so ordinary you never imagine it could be the last moment everything still belonged to you. For Dryope, it was just a touch. The day was quiet, too quiet to carry a warning. The air sat still between the trees, and the forest seemed to breathe in a slow, ancient rhythm, as if it had existed long before memory, and would remain long after. Dryope did not enter it with fear. She came as she always had, gently, without suspicion, with the calm innocence of someone who had never been given a reason to doubt the world around her. In her arms, she carried her child. A life untouched by harm, a future unmarked by consequence. And perhaps that was why the moment chose her. Because innocence never sees the line until it has already crossed it. She walked among the trees, her steps soft against the earth, her attention caught by something simple, something small enough to seem meaningless. A tree, not grand, not towering, not marked by anything that would warn her away. Just there. But there are things in this world that do not need to appear dangerous to be final. She noticed its leaves first, strangely vibrant, almost alive in a way that didn't quite belong. They held a color too rich, too deep, like something rooted in more than soil. Still, it was beautiful, and beauty has a way of disarming caution. So she stepped closer, not out of need, not out of curiosity strong enough to question, just because it was there. And when her hand reached out, her fingers brushed against it, nothing happened. No sound, no movement, no sign that anything had changed. And that was the moment everything had already begun. Because some consequences do not announce themselves. They settle in quietly and wait. Dryope pulled her hand back without a second thought. There was no pain, no mark, nothing to tell her that she had just stepped into something irreversible. She turned away. She continued on. She lived the next moments exactly as she would have if nothing had happened at all. But the forest had already made its decision. It started subtly, so subtly that even she didn't notice at first. A strange heaviness in her limbs, a stiffness that didn't feel like exhaustion, but something deeper. Something that didn't belong to the body as it was meant to be. She shifted her weight, tried to walk, and for the first time, something resisted. Not the ground, not her strength. Something else, something that felt like it had taken hold from within. Her breath faltered. Confusion came first, not fear, because fear needs understanding, and she didn't understand, not yet. She tried again, her foot moved, but slower now, heavier. As though the earth itself had begun to pull her back, refusing to release what it had already claimed. Then came the change she could not ignore. Her skin, it tightened, not like flesh, but like something drying, hardening, losing the softness that made it human. She looked down, and for the first time, she saw it. What had begun where her hand had touched the tree had not stayed there. It had spread, up her arm, across her body, quietly, steadily, without hesitation. Panic surged, but panic comes too late when the process is already complete in its decision. She tried to move faster, to run, but movement was no longer hers to command. Her legs resisted, then slowed, then began to fail her entirely. It wasn't pain that broke her, it was the realization. The moment when confusion gives way to truth, when the mind finally understands what the body can no longer escape. This wasn't something happening to her. This was something taking her. Piece by piece, she called out, but even her voice began to change. It strained, cracked, as though it too was being pulled into something deeper, something older than sound itself. Her child, still in her arms, still unaware, still untouched. And in that moment, nothing mattered more than that. Not her fear, not her fate, only the desperate need to protect what had not yet been taken. She tried to hold him tighter, but her arms, they were no longer hers. They stiffened, locked, began to lose the warmth of life. She begged, whether to the forest, to the unseen, or to something beyond both, even she did not know. But the forest does not bargain. It does not hesitate, and it does not return what it has chosen. Her feet were no longer feet. They had rooted, fixed into the earth as though they had always belonged there. Her body rose, not as a person standing, but as something growing. Her skin hardened into bark, her breath faded into stillness, and her voice was the last thing to leave her. Not in a scream, not in defiance, but in a quiet, breaking realization that there was no moment left to undo what had already been done. Because by the time she understood, By the time she truly saw it, it was already too late, and where Dryope once stood, there was only a tree. Still, silent, unmoving, rooted in a place that would never release her. And if you passed through that forest, you would see nothing unusual, nothing that warned you, nothing that told you what had been lost there. Just a tree, waiting, as it always had, as it always would.